Okay, so hi Elizabeth, welcome to this webinar. So this is the program presentation of BESIGN, the Sustainable Design School. We're going to speak about our bachelor degree and also our master degree. And at the end of the presentation, we will give you more insights about the admission procedure. So I'm really happy to have Sandrine Lebas with me, who is our academic director and who's going to do the main part of the presentation. Well, let's start. Sandrine, I give you the floor.
Hello, welcome everyone. Very nice to see you. I wanted just to introduce myself. I'm Sandrine Lebas. I am the academic director at BESIGN. I recently joined BESIGN, and my background is as a designer first, and then I worked for California College of the Arts in San Francisco, where I led the industrial design program undergrad. So I'm really happy to be joining BESIGN. They celebrate their 10-year anniversary, and looking forward to the next 10, 15, 20 years with this great mission of the school. So today we are going to give you more insights into our different programs and what it means to become a designer and to join the school. And then we'll open up to questions if you have any. Feel free to type your questions in the chat while we present, so that we can start right away with our questions. Your questions then. So this is some words from one of our co-founders, Marc Van Weggen. I'll let you read, but this is really about the DNA of the school and why the school was created, to really start to develop designers with a point of view on sustainability, and for them to be a force of proposal in a world that is changing, where we feel like we really have to pay attention to all those big challenges that the planet faces with manufacturing, with creating solutions. So 10 years ago, Marc Van Weggen, Maurice Larivière, Patrick Le Clément co-founded BESIGN with this great mission of sustainable design. You can go to the next slide. So at BESIGN, our foundations are really anchored into the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that we adopted since 2015. This is really the blueprint of not only the school, but the entire curriculum, where our students are led through projects with the lens of the Sustainable Development Goals. So they really, it's the foundation of all of their project work and courses. Next. So we have been fairly well recognized as a school. We are part of this University Côte d'Azur. We also have been recognized by the French state, degree recognized as the level 7, which is the master level. We have also recently received multiple awards, some first place for best design school in terms of the student experience, some first place for sustainable design school. And then we're also working on our professional certification, which doesn't necessarily get to you, but is parallel to our master and our bachelor, and that work is in progress. So we are, by design, a very international school. we are building our curriculum around multidisciplinarity and multicultural tests. All of our courses are entirely in English. Our student background is quite diverse. We invite students from all kinds of design background to join and to create this mix of knowledge. So we have a bachelor in 3 years. You can see here 60 credits per year, and a master in 2 years, again with 60 credits per year. We also have a very strong exchange program here at BESIGN. So every semester we have students joining schools all across the globe, and we have students joining us for a semester or sometime a year. This year alone, we have about 30 different nationalities in a body of students is close to 100. So it really creates an interesting dynamic in terms of cultural exchange in the classroom, and to really share the diversity of design approaches as well. Inken, you want to speak about those exchanges more in detail?
Yes, absolutely, I can. So this is just to display all the our academic partners worldwide. And this is, of course, under development because every year we have new partner schools that we're working with. This is basically the choice of institutions where you can spend an exchange semester, and also the origin of the students coming for an exchange semester to BESIGN. For us, it's most interesting that these partner schools do not essentially do the very same thing what we do, because the idea here is to see different point of views in design education, to get additional assets to what we teach at BESIGN, and also to be inspired by local specificities. So this is very broad in terms of nationalities, but also in terms of education contents.
Thank you. So in terms of our space, our facility, we have a thing that's really focused on hands-on designing and really learning by making. So we have not only a computer lab, as you would expect, but we have a large mock-up and fabrication workshop. A lot of machines, the typical laser cutter and 3D printer, and so on, where we very early on build their designs and concepts. We are building a fashion lab where we will have elective courses for students to tackle fashion related projects. And our school is located 10 minutes from the Nice International Airport and about 15-20 minutes in train to Nice. And then we are close to our home train station, 1,500 meters. We're really close to the beach as well. We'll talk later about our location and how inviting it could be. So our bachelor, I'm going to start with that program. So we have a bachelor in 3 years, students joining from school, after high school, or sometimes some transfer as well. So it's possible to transfer into the second year with a portfolio, with showing some past work. So the first year of bachelor is really learning all the fundamentals and the foundation skills and the tools. So you would see on the right side a list of the typical courses for year 1 of bachelor. And you'll notice it's heavier on the tools, the skills, really all the fundamentals that you will need as a young designer to start tackling projects. So we have those courses. We have obviously design culture and design history courses in that first year, and then introduction to sustainability concepts and guidelines. And in that first year of bachelor, we also have a project-based design studio. And this is really just incremental, slowly getting those students acclimated to what it means to build a project, a design project. Free to type questions if you have them in the chat.
Sandrine, you switched off your microphone.
I did not. Weird. Okay, I'm back. Thank you. So here are some imagery from this first year. It's really a year of discovery. You know, from coming from you know, high school courses, really want to be immersed into the tools and the world of design. Don't worry about not having the level of sketching or drawing. Those courses are embedded and are really here to support you at any level. And our faculty are very well aware that, you know, our students come with many different skills and levels. So you will get engaged into those different tools and softwares, and as well as hand tools in the shop to learn during that first year. Second year of bachelor, so obviously you start to have some skills developed and some tools in your back pocket, and you're able to tackle more complex, slightly more complex projects, I would say. And so you'll notice again on the list of classes on the right, there are some schools and some skills and tools that are more advanced level. So they're, you know, the follow up of the courses that you have had in Bachelor 1, and then more advanced, slightly more advanced studio and courses in terms of the design process. I think you know, frugal innovation, creative thinking. We have some hackathon also and some workshops. You work in teams, and you start to really be also a partner or a participant, an active participant into partnership projects. I'll talk about these a little later, and how they work across the different levels. Obviously, you continue to have classes in English and French also to be supported in your study. Oops, sorry. Bachelor 2, sorry, is also, you see some examples here. It's also a level where you start to have some electives. So at BESIGN, we look at all the disciplines of design through the sustainable lens. But eventually we have elective courses where you can start to develop an option or a minor, and you can, you know, you can study fashion design, you can study space or interior design, and you can focus on product design as well. So that's the year where you really start to eventually define more of your curriculum on your own by choosing those elective courses. And third year of bachelor, it's kind of a major year in a sense where those projects, you really start at that level to own your projects and to develop your own topic within a specific theme. You are obviously supported by faculty, mentored by faculty in those studios. But it's really the year where you develop your own design voice. You by then have accumulated all the skills and the tools and the knowledge. So it's really a sort of capstone year where you can start to create solutions and designs that really develop your portfolio.
Oops, sorry.
Oops, thank you. So here you can see some examples of the work, some of the work that have been done in the design studio for Bachelor 3 level. So you really start to become what we call an actor of change. You really start to have all the skills to develop finalized solutions, but also roundly thought out solutions in terms of design needs and sustainability as well. Master. So we have quite a few students that actually join us for the entire 5 years, starting their Bachelor 3 year and continuing in their Master. We also have students who are joining us just for Master as their Master 1 level. So we have a bit of a mix there. So our 2 years of Masters start with, first year is really strong and intense in terms of classes and some studio. And then I'll talk about it. The second year is more into the degree project or the diploma project. So it's entirely dedicated to that. So first year is really about developing soft skills and emotional intelligence. We have a lot more classes that are based on strategy or marketing that really elevate the theoretical side of design and its approach. We are looking to deepen culture. We are looking to have more of a professional context as well. Master 1 is the year where students support the partnership project. So they are actually the team lead of partnership project. And that's one main load of their semester or their year in terms of project-based courses. And so you see on the right, we have listed some of the classes that are developed during this first year. You can see some example, I think. Next. So here you see you're going to see some examples of the diploma project. So with all that first year of master accumulated in learning, the second year is really about developing a thesis, a memoir, written thesis, and then a project. The project is typically built by teams of 2. We try to have a team to support each other, although it's not mandatory. But we find it very successful because students really continue to support each other and have a feedback, and they can really build on each other's skills. That second year is really, it's a lot more of an independent study. And the students are followed by what we call maestro, which are faculty mentors that meet on a regular basis with students. So it's very much of an individualized program in that sense. And then by almost the end of year, but not quite, by April, May, students present their diploma project to the jury. And we'll see some slides about that too. So here you see this example that we were showing just earlier. of a diploma project by Sacha Vial and Matthew Slack, where they repurposed or refurbished old barges that are abandoned and not used anymore, and really developed this interesting system of this interesting modular system that creates some different activities, some different spaces on those barges, so they can be developed as a restaurant or as a gym class or gym space, and really focus on recreating life along the river borders. And so this project was really anchored into not only sustainability, but social and economic impact as well. You can see their models here. So let's talk about partnership projects. I've been hinting about them throughout the whole presentation. The partnership projects are another sort of column or axis of project-based courses that are built across all the different levels. So each semester we have 5 to 6 different corporate partners who come to BESIGN with a problematic, a question, a quest. And we build students' team across all the levels from Bachelor 1 to Master 1 students. Master 1 being typically the team lead, and then the 10, 15 students all together work with the partner and one faculty leader as well on a very applied question that is brought from the corporate partner. So these partnership projects are quite the DNA, or very, very much part of the DNA of the school, in the sense that really foster professional application of their skills, but also learning across the different levels of students, the different backgrounds of students, and also building all the soft skills such as team management, delegating work, and all of the crucial soft skills that are needed for master students.
There's a question from Aina here who says, I understand that the main theme of the school is about sustainability, but is it possible to perform projects that are not based on sustainability and have other approaches during the courses too? Well, we can maybe answer both of us. Well, first of all, you should definitely have an appetite for sustainability if you come to our institution, because that's the lens, that's the goal, and that's what we want to create and to enhance furthermore. Let's say if you develop a product, we would not only think in terms of product, but always in terms of the ecosystem that comes with the product, and that can give even more or go beyond the impact of the solely product. And but on the other side, what is it 100% sustainability? You always have to look into feasibility as well and into reality. So I would say that sometimes some projects you could qualify them for not sustainable because they're not 100% sustainable material or not 100% recyclable and so forth. But let's say they're always on that path, and that's always through that lens. So it's a very important part of the education at BESIGN School. So Sandrine, maybe you want to add something?
Right, and I think again, it's a lens. So it means that you can zoom in very closely into sustainability, or you can just incorporate it lightly, but keeping it in mind for your project. We also have, if you look back at the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, there are also many of those goals that are more targeted to social impact and social innovation. So that, for example, could lead to some service design or some system designs that, you know, have more, are not necessarily tied to, sustainable materials or sustainable product or solution, right? So it's more of a social impact, sustainability in that sense. So there are multiple ways to approach the question of sustainability at large. And it's not necessarily only, looking at manufacturing, looking at materials and such. And that's what all of our students do, because again, design as a broad discipline.
It's true that our mission actually at some point is that the word sustainability disappears because that's a new normal, right? So for the moment, it's not the case, but as soon as you see that there's BESIGN school instead of BESIGN, the sustainable design school, then we have reached that. I mean, it really is about putting the normal way to use the planet, to interact with living beings, to create a new normal in that sense that is more likely to live longer.
So here you can see a few of the programs or the partners we have created and developed projects with in the past. So like I said, it's somewhere between 5 and 6 per semester. Students choose or vote, I would say, for their preferences. All of those partners at the beginning of the semester, they come and they share a presentation, and they sort of pitch their project to the students, and then students vote and they choose first choice, second choice, third choice. So, and that's how we create the teams who will be working on those partnerships. And it's really interesting in the sense that by the time a student has gone through the 3 years or the 5 years, those partnerships, they have accumulated up to 10 projects in their portfolio that are in partner with a brand or a corporation, and they almost act as the internship. And they really, in your resume, they really act as experiences. So you see an example that was developed for the Maasai village in Tanzania. I don't have much background on this project. You can know more about it.
Yeah. This was a partner. We were partnering with Toyota for this project, who was developing a concept about production of energy in a Maasai village. So we actually sent the group of students together with one of our professors to that village. They spent some time over there and to investigate and to do also interviews with the locals, and to have a real insight about the situation. So this is typically a project that we do with a company that produces cars, but that is kind of far away from mobility, because even car and mobility producers, they do invest into sustainable development, and they do actually broaden up their will to do more for the world. So Toyota is a partner that we work quite often with. They have their design studios in Sofia Antipolis, which is a city not far away from our campus. So the final presentations of the project take place on site of Toyota design headquarters. And this is another another example of Toyota, and it was about mobility for elder people in rural areas, which is a problematic that is reality in France, but I believe in many other countries in the world, where the wish of the elder people is to stay in the rural areas and not to be obliged to go to the cities. And one of the problems was obviously to provide all the shopping or to carry heavy stuff that would allow them to be independent in the houses. The students, they developed this little item here that, like this chariot, that would work by itself, so you don't even have to pull it. It could also be you have an application with it, so you can enter into the application where do you want this how do you say chariot, this little device
Cart.
Yeah, where do you want it to go and what it wanted to do.
Cart. Yeah.
Exactly. So that could be an example. And let me see if we have another one. Oh no, we're already on that page. But yes.
So here's the panel of our alumni. You want to talk about it, Inken?
Yeah, go ahead. You can speak about this.
Yeah, so I was just going to highlight that, you see that roughly a third of our alumni create their own company or their own startup or their own brand. And then roughly 70% of them become employees. Right below, you can see you have a bit of a highlight on the different design fields that they go into. And you may notice that there are still a good 24% that look at work in more of a global design approach. And they may becoming design managers. You can see on the right a few profiles and where they work. So that gives you a little bit of insight of the type of professions or the type of fields that our alumni go into.
So here, this is my part again. This is actually a very nice photo about from Nice downtown. La Coulée Verte. This is a part of Nice that has been re-established as a huge public park. And on the left side, you can see the old town of Nice. And if you can see my cursor here. So, and then this is the main part of Nice, and here in the back somewhere, that's where BESIGN School is. So you can walk. It's over an hour walking, but with the bus, it's 30 minutes from here, from Nice downtown, from the old town. And well, as Sandrine said, the occasion is really nice because you're right on the shore, and it's a Mediterranean sea, so you can bath, you can swim, and the mountains are just behind. It's a 1 hour car drive or bus drive. Anyway, what I wanted to say is applications are via our website. Let me see if I can actually, oh yes, I think that works. So on our website, you have here the contact form button. That's what you have to fill out first. And that will lead you to a very, very short form, which is actually helping us to have you in our system and in our workflow. You will automatically receive an email with instructions for the application process. In that process, you have like the very usual documents such as CV, cover letter, a portfolio if possible for the bachelor degree, but mandatory if you want to enroll in the master degree with us. The form, let me see, looks like this. Okay, so it's about your personal information, and then we also have information about your parents. That is actually important for us, and it's also about who is going to finance your studies, and the person to contact in case of emergency, and your former studies and experiences. And you can also upload here your CV and copy of your passport and so forth. So that is for the application first step. A second step would be that we get back to you pretty fast once you have submitted this form, and we will schedule an admission interview with Sandrine, you and Sandrine, most of the time online, except if you are on the site. You can also do it in the office with Sandrine. So this will take exactly 30 minutes, and she has a list of questions, and it's more about who you are, and what is your vision of design. We also want to make sure that you have this appetite for art, because, well, designer is somebody who expresses himself through visual expressions like images. So you have to be able to draw and to create these images. Also, your appetite for sustainability and your value set. We want to have students on board who are who will put their energy and their heart into sustainable development and to go forward in the sustainable transition. So that's the interview. Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
This is Colleen, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to fully be a participant because I'm working, but I have a couple questions if you don't mind me asking.
Well, you can ask them now, or shall I just finalize my presentation about the application?
Okay.
Then, yeah?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then I give you the floor right after. Okay, so there's the interview with Sandrine, and within 48 hours you will receive the result, including an acceptance letter, well, through email, and then it's really up to you to finalize the enrollment, which will happen by paying the first down payment of the tuition fee. So you will receive a contract that you will have to sign, and then instructions for the payment. And the first down payment is well, it's depending on the year which you're enrolling to, and it's also negotiable depending on background. But most of the time it's a third of the tuition fee. So you start, once you pay that first down payment, you're officially enrolled at BESIGN School. You will get your official certificate of enrollment, which allows you to do the visa application in your country. Right. And once you're enrolled, I will get back to you and help you to find accommodation. So we have a student residence that is really not far away from our campus, and that we're working with. So our students, we have, I think, currently about 20 students living in the same residence, which is quite nice because you have a large room, you have your own bathroom, your own kitchen, and other facilities in the building. And as I said, it's like a 10 minutes drive from bus ride from our campus away. Also very important is that you look, for those of you who need a visa, that you look into this page from Campus France, which is actually giving all the details about how to get organized to come to France, what do you need to study in France, what is about living in France, social security, what are the insurances, and so forth, knowing that this will give you a lot of background information. And once it gets concrete, once we're stepping forward to your arrival in France, we will invite you to an onboarding meeting that will take place in the end of June. And so it's done by me, and some of my some students will join as well the meeting. And then you will be able to to ask your concrete questions, and I will really check with you. Have you done this? Have you done this? What do you need? Is there a paper, and so forth? Right. So that's about it. I just
one thing
wanted
maybe is about the portfolio. So the portfolio is not mandatory for if you apply for a bachelor. It's really about your transcript and interview, motivation. And then if you apply for master, then we do want to see a portfolio then. And again, I wanted to reinforce what Inken was saying about the interview. It's not a hardcore questionnaire. It's really about understanding your personality, your fit with the mission of the school, and your motivation mainly.
Yeah, exactly. So here, I mean, this is our team that will be there to help you to integrate into France and as well as the school. And our partners are University Côte d'Azur, very important because they also propose a lot of activities for students. Campus France, of course. Le Crous is public student housing, where we also have 10 rooms available for those of you who have really small means and who would adapt to well, the criteria of this accommodation. The student is the other one. We have a bank that gives special conditions to our students. Same here for HAMI, which is an insurance, health insurance, but also housing insurance. This is the French insurance system, knowing that international students have a free health insurance plan in France, but it's a basic plan. Okay, so we always recommend to take an additional insurance on top of it. And you also have the possibility to request housing aid, which is quite something. The only condition is that you stay longer than 6 months in France. And for example, if you stay in this residence, Les Estudines, which is 580 euros per month, once you get the housing aid, it goes down to 440 euros. Okay, so this is, of course, now this is not the moment to go into every little detail here, but I just want to tell you that we would drive you through this and really help you to go through all the administrative salad, I would say. So this is time for questions. So Colleen, go ahead.
Okay, so you might have mentioned this, but for the master's degree, that's what I'm interested in. Is this hands-on design as well, or is this more business entrepreneurship focused?
So I would say that compared to the bachelor, obviously the master is less hands-on. However, through the projects, whether it's the partnership projects or some personal projects on the side, you definitely are involved into learning by making. But it's a less of a focus than it could be through the bachelor, obviously. So it's a more towards. Oh, thank you. The courses are definitely more into the strategy, reinforcing sustainability, and really developing all of the soft skills in team management.
Yeah, also you would learn sustainability through the concept point of view of it, because on the master level, the idea here is that you already master the design tool skills, and that you now learn how to drive sustainable design within existing companies or startup companies or agencies. Right. So if you see here biomimicry methodology, this is 100% a project-based course. But you learn how to adapt this concept within an organization. Same thing for design, context, and consumer culture and futures. This is always linked to sustainability. Oops, sorry, to sustainability and social innovation.
Okay. My next question is how for projects and perhaps internships that you may do, and students that are graduating and gaining employment, how do you work with companies if they're going to work with the company to kind of like make sure that the role won't be the role they are going to be employed in is not like a greenwashing role, and really making meaningful sustainability change, if that makes sense.
So I think it starts with our partnership projects, where many of our partners are recurring. They actually understand the value that our student team bring to those questions of sustainability. And they come semester after semester or year after year, they come back for more work with our students. We also have an internship, a mandatory internship at the end of the Master 2 year. So it's kind of the graduating internship that is minimum of 6 months. And typically students through their master diploma project identify a field or a company they would like to work with. So they're, in a sense, their diploma project leads them into the workforce or into a specific workplace. Okay. They have to identify a project master or that is not a designer and that is not a faculty design. So they really have to start to leap into the workplace, whether it's through the partnership or through the degree project or the diploma project. And that last year also can be done in what's called alternance in France, which is a true partnership through the entire project, entire last year of master, with a company or a corporation, and it's done, and the project is done in partnership with the corporation. So that's another platform that often leads students to land a job right after graduation into that field. So I think it's really the core of the curriculum is really built to propel those students into the right field and the right company or corporation. There is also multiple government rules and guidelines that are starting to appear here in Europe, and especially in France. By 2025, all corporations will really have to implement some guidelines around sustainability into their production, into their systems. So there's going to be a heavy need for our designers to lead those companies through those changes. And that's, starting to appear all over Europe as well.
Yeah, but it's true. Your question about greenwashing is understandable, and it's part of the reality. We're not our designers, our alumni are not auditioners, right? They are not going into companies to say, well, this is greenwashing, this is not. But what we really do, or how we understand our institution, is more about a space of learning as well for the students, as well for the companies. Because in these partnership projects that we conduct, very often the companies realize the extent of sustainable design and of sustainable innovation through design that is possible within their own organism. So actually, once they understand how interesting this is and how much there's an added value and these win-win situations, there's no space for greenwashing, really. And also, you could call bio objects part of sustainable design because they're produced with sustainable material and so forth. But if an object, a project done with biomaterial is useless, or nobody's going to use it, then it's not good for the environment either. Because there's always emissions, CO2 emissions. There's always pollution that comes along. So our idea here is to look into what is really making things that they have a value on the market, and that have a value as well in terms of helping us to improve the situation, right? So for the greenwashing, I would say we don't fight it because that's something that is sad and that exists. But our mission here really is to make sure that that the other point of views are more important, so that the greenwashing doesn't even exist, doesn't have a space. I hope this long answer answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have a question from Aina who's asking about the deadlines, English proficiency. So we actually do not ask you for an English test before arrival because it's part of the diploma requirements. So you will actually do an English test within your studies at BESIGN school at the end of your, like in the master degree. And what we do is during the interview, Sandrine, she will check your English level and see if your level is sufficient to be able to cope with this courses in English. And
but again, we have English classes across all 5 years. So they're really there to support you at any level. We typically have 2 different levels of those courses to support the students. And we have some students who join us right after high school, so they don't always necessarily have or feel that they have an amazing level of English, but we have those courses to support them.
Okay. Elizabeth, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you so much, Sandrine and Egan, for this wonderful presentation. I have a couple of different questions. If for the master's degree, I'm a native English speaker, and I have several years of learning French, and I would hope to, after graduation, work for a French company. I'm just wondering what types of French classes are available and what types of resources you might offer to help me reach that goal.
Yeah, and again.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, well, we are not a language school, yeah, so
Of course,
that's
yes.
important. Yeah, you will not be get all your knowledge in French in our school, but we do offer French classes like once a week, and there is on different levels. So you'll be in a group of students with the same level, so that's quite important. It's like a one teacher during the entire year, so she can perfectly follow up on your level and try to, raise it. She will also do field trips with you, like going to the restaurant or to museums and, trying how to order things. And it really is more about how to live in France and getting around in France. But we also have an agreement with the Alliance Française at Nice. They offer more intensive language courses. So in your case, what I would recommend is that you come like a month earlier and that you take for, let's say, 3 weeks intensive courses at this Alliance, at this institution, and maybe even live with a French family. They do offer this type of accommodation plans, and so that you can then focus on your design studies. Because we don't, we didn't speak about this so much, but the studies at BESIGN School are very intensive because project always means that, there's like work that you need to do at home. Designers are people who work in a very accurate way. So, you want things to be perfect. There's not a lot of theory or theoretical learning, but still, what we expect you to do is to do readings, to get your design culture up to top and to follow as well blogs and other things online that are all about design. So my advice here really is to do that language stuff before, and then trust yourself, because like a human brain really is able to pick up languages even by doing other things.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And that sounds fantastic. I will look into that. I was also wondering if you could talk a little bit more about whether or not BESIGN has an alumni network for post-graduation support for job seekers.
You mean like an alumni network?
Yes, alumni network.
Yes, absolutely. We're in 10 years of existence, so we do have quite some alumni, and some of them actually intervene. They come back to school and talk about do presentations about their current jobs and this type of things. I think the alumni network is organized by us, but by themselves as well. And I think that part is actually much stronger. And I know that there's a lot of friendship and even companies created by alumni who put themselves together and these kind of things. It's so the answer is definitely yes, and it's actually part of our this year main how do you say subjects that we're working on as administrators of the school, and we even employed somebody who has a mission to develop the alumni network.
Wonderful.
Also,
that's sorry, pardon me. Please go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead. I also wanted to add that there's a very strong sense of entrepreneurship, especially from our master's students after graduation. And there is a strong network of support. We are in the midst of building a junior enterprise within the school. We also have a lot of support and network from University Côte d'Azur. They have programs that on a regular basis that they come to present to our students, where they can apply for grants and support when they want to build their or create their company or their brand. Actually, last year we have one graduating student who won one of those awards. I think for 7,000 euros or something like that. And then he had access to an entire array of support, from accountants to legal advice, to be able to create his company and his startup. He actually came to share his experience, which was amazing. So there's definitely that sense of support happening. Oh, Cedric is saying in the chat, yeah, we also receive often job offers from company that are shared in the alumni BESIGN group. So as administrators are also in constant contact with our alumni, whether invite them to share their experience or whether we connect for job offers and internship offers.
Thank you so much, Sandrine. That sounds fantastic. I have one more question, if you wouldn't mind, just to follow up on a previous question about working with different companies and how, in the process of doing those projects as a master's student, companies might learn about things that they had not, previously, say, known about, and that we as designers could help with. You had spoken just a little bit about learning soft skills and project management during the first year. And I was just wondering if there is a specific highlight on that, for example, because as we were talking about, there are new guidelines coming out in France for sustainability in corporations. So I'm just a bit curious about how that might integrate into the curriculum.
So it comes in the sense that the partnership project or project-based courses are the catalyst for all the other more theoretical courses or peripheral courses. That means that within the partnership project or with the project-based course, all of the other skills and knowledge are going to be implemented, developed, tested. So it's really the platform. I mean, it's the basic mean of a project-based course, right? Where all of the theoretical courses gets applied on an actual topic or an actual question that is brought from a partner, or not, because we also have studio that is, a theme or a topic that will not be tied to a partner, where a student can develop more of their own voice and their own portfolio as well.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you so much for this wonderful presentation.
You're welcome, Elisabeth. There was another question from Aina in the slides. There was a percentage about graphic designer within the school. Could you please tell us more about the courses that are more focused on graphic design and the opportunities available in this area?
Yes, so because we are a school of design, sustainable design and more global design, we have students who come from different backgrounds, bring that knowledge and those skills with them. We ultimately share with, within teamwork and group work with other students, but we also have, through the bachelor, in the foundation year, we have all courses that tackle graphic design, composition, typography. So all of the fundamentals to be able to put together presentations that look good, that are meaningful. And so yes, we have students who eventually, at the end of their study, feel that they belong more to graphic design, or they're more attracted by this field, graphic design, and they develop their career and their project, their final diploma project towards this field. But that is true to other type of design, service design, experience design, product, interior, sustainable fashion. So all of those lands are valid and are available for students to explore. They are not necessarily specialties because the curriculum is not built to create specifically graphic designers or specifically interior designers, but you will have access to elective courses that allow you to explore those fields.
Yeah, exactly. And also through the exchange semesters, that's what I said in the beginning, if you might focus on to be an expert in a field that we do not offer at design school, because it's literally impossible to have all designs offered in one school. So we could really tailor a program for you in a partner institution. For example, Politecnico di Milano, they have a great graphic design department, or also the Latin American partner schools that we have. So, or the Japanese school, we could tailor something around this and see which school you could go and spend 1 or 2 semesters over there to become an expert in, for instance, graphic design. So you have a bachelor degree in industrial design. I was more curious about the M1, M2 for the graphic design. So there is no courses in graphic composition and typography on master level. But what you will have to do, and this is mandatory, is before the beginning of your master degree, there is a 3 weeks of onboarding class or a refresh course, or whatever you want to call them. But in these 3 weeks, you will have a training within graphic design and typography. So that is very important because we need to have everybody on the same level before the semester starts. Yeah, but furthermore, there are no, you would actually be requested to use your skills in graphic design rather than to start to learn them on the master level. Are there any other questions?
I see Anna is in it. No, oh, thank you.
All right. Okay, I think
question?
Yeah. I think we've done more than an hour. We didn't speak so much about
the deadlines. Yeah, Anna is asking about application deadlines.
Yeah, very important. So we established a deadline on 1st of May for the applications, and that is essentially for the fact that you will have to request a visa, specifically coming from Iran, and the visa procedure is quite long, and the Campus France spaces in the world, some of them close in the end of June. So deadline would be 1st of May, but we do actually consider even files that come in later. I mean, if you're an interested student and we still have space in the school, we would even throughout the summer still accept applications. But my recommendation is, and that's for you and for us, much better, is to go early. We already have students enrolled for next year, so the enrollment period is open. The main period will be in December, January, February, and starting in March, you will be a late applicant, right? So really my message here is to do it early. It helps us a lot to actually have a visualization about how are the class sizes looking like for the next year. Do we have to create 2 classes and so forth? For yourself, you will need some time to organize yourself, to change country. Beyond the visa, you will have to do a lot of things before you come to France. So more time is much better. And yeah, and then as well, we do not gather all the applications until one deadline date and then decide who will be taken. What we do is first come, first take. So if you are going through the entire procedure, if you have your application interview with Sandrine, if she gives a green light, and then we will accept you and enroll you as soon as you do your first down payment, right? And regardless if whatever other student comes later with other crazy profile is coming later, it's really first one, first serve. So I think that's also an important message. Of course, the earlier you come, the more you're sure to take your seat. And once we have made you an offer for a seat, you will have 1 month to finalize your enrollment. You're very, very welcome, Aina. All right, so if there are no other questions, I will thank you all for being here. I will stop the registration now. And yes, and this will be available on our website, and so that you can hand it over to, friends, parents, whoever is concerned with your enrollment at BESIGN School. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Will this